The day Adays graduated, she wore a white dress. Not the kind you buy at Tehusho Market for 3,000 naira. The kind you order, specially. The kind that comes in a bag with tissue paper inside and a ribbon on the handle. She had told nobody where she bought it. She had not told her sister. She had not told the sister about the graduation at all. Chisom found out from a photograph. Someone from the village posted the photograph on Facebook. Adays in the white dress, a cap on her head, a scroll in her hand, smiling the smile of someone whose life has just officially begun. Chisom was sitting at her spot on Ojalegba Road when she saw it. Her pure water bag was on her head. The afternoon sun was pressing down on everything. She had been on her feet since 5 in the morning. She looked at the photograph on her phone for a long time. Then she put the phone back in her wrapper pocket. She lifted the pure water bag higher on her head. She kept walking. She did not cry. Not yet. Not here. Not on Oyulegba Road. She had cried in cheaper places. She would cry somewhere cheaper than here. But first, she had water to sell. Because the pure water did not know about the photograph. The pure water did not know that the girl it had put through school had graduated today without telling the hands that carried it. The pure water only knew that it was Thursday afternoon and Chisom had a target and she was not there yet. She kept walking. Let me tell you how this story started. It did not start on Oyalegba Road. It started in a compound in Mushin, Lagos. 2 sisters, 1 mother. A father who had gone to Kano for work in 2003 and sent money for 2 years and then stopped. Mama's name was Mama Chisom. She sold akara at the junction from 5 in the morning until the akara was finished. Chisom was the firstborn, born 1991. Adays was the second, born 1995. 4 years between them. In those 4 years, something had been decided silently, through daily accumulation. Through the gradual understanding of who carries what and why. Chisom carried things. Not just physically, but in the larger sense. The first daughter sense. She was the one who woke up early. She was the one who noticed when the kerosene was running low. She was the one who sat with Mama Chisom in the evening when the day's earnings were being counted. Adays was different. Adays was the kind of child that makes a family believe in something larger than themselves. She was brilliant. Her primary school teacher said to Mama Chisom, "This one has a gift. Don't waste it." Mama Chisom had cried on the way home. Not from happiness, but from the weight of being told your child has a gift. When you sell akara at a junction, a gift costs money to develop. Chisom was 15 when she understood this completely. She was the one who came to Mama Chisom with the plan. She said, "Let me leave school and work. I will support Adays. She's the one who should go all the way." Mama Chisom said, "You are also my daughter." Chisom said, "I know, but she is the one with the gift, and someone has to carry the gift." She started selling pure water at 16. The pure water business was run by Iarisi. Iarisi took Chisom on as a favor to Mama Chisom. She said, "She can do my Ojalegba route. Morning shift, 6 to 12, I give her 30%. Mama Chisom said, 40. Iarisi said, 35. And she carries the afternoon shift on Fridays. Mama Chisom said, agreed. That was how it started. 6 in the morning. A bag of pure water on her head. 24 sachets per bag. 50 naira per sachet. 1,200 naira per bag. 35% to Chisom, which was 420 naira per bag. She moved 2 bags on good days. Sometimes 3. She learned the roots, the way you learn a song. She learned to balance the bag without using her hands. The specific skill of a Lagos hawker woman. She sold water. She saved money. Every month she gave Mama Chisom the school fees portion and kept the remainder for herself. Not for new clothes, not for phone credit, but for the next month's school fees, for Adiz's textbooks, for Adiz's exam registration, for Adiz's lesson fees. She did this for 7 years. Adays was everything Chisom had believed she would be. She passed her JSCE with distinctions. She sat WAEC and came out with 7 A's and 2 B's. Results that Mama Chisholm put on the wall of the parlor in a frame. She applied to Unilag. She got her JMB score, 204. She got into the Department of Economics. The day the admission letter came, Chisholm was on Oyulegba Road. Mama Chisholm called her and she answered with the bag on her head. Mama Chisholm said she got in. Unilag Economics. Chisholm stood on Oyulegba Road with 24 sachets of water on her head, and she raised her free hand to her mouth. The woman selling plantain beside her said, "Wetin happen?" Chisholm said, "My sister got into university." The plantain woman said, "Unilag." Chisholm said, "Unilag." The plantain woman shouted something in Yoruba. That meant God has done it. And the Malam Selin Suja, across the road, heard the celebration and raised his hand without knowing why. Standing on Oyulegba Road with pure water on her head and plantain woman rejoicing beside her in the Malam across the road, she laughed with her whole body for the first time in a long time. She paid the acceptance fees. She paid for the hostel. She bought Addie's mattress, a good foam mattress from a shop in Yaba. She carried it on a kick to their compound. Because she could not afford to add delivery fee, she bought a second-hand laptop from a vendor at Computer Village. She bought a small power bank, a reading lamp, a padlock for the hostel locker. She put everything in a big Gonamusco bag. The morning Adaze left for the hostel, Chisholm carried the bag to the bus stop. Adaze was 20 years old and beautiful. And going somewhere, she hugged Chisholm at the bus stop and said, "Sis, I will not forget, I swear to God. When I graduate, I will make sure you never have to carry that water bag again." In the bustling heart of Lagos, 2 sisters, Chisholm and Adaze, shared a dream. Adaze, bright-eyed, promised to study hard. Chisholm watched her sister depart, a silent vow in her heart. Her own path was clear, though arduous. Day after day, she carried water, her strength fueling Eddie's future. Every drop, a sacrifice. The first year brought joy. Adisa's calls, filled with university tailies, were Chisholm's weekly comfort. Adaeus spoke of lectures, new friends, and the vibrant campus life. Her voice, full of excitement and promise. To meet the rising costs, Chisholm took on more. A new route, Sorila, added to her daily burden. She never mentioned the extra work to Adaze, protecting her sister's focus. Her dedication was unwavering. As months turned into years, the calls grew less frequent. A subtle shift began to emerge. Chisholm noticed a change in Addie's voice, a new polish, a refined tone, replacing the familiar warmth. She rationalized it, understanding the demands of university life. Yet, a quiet observation lingered. Christmas arrived, bringing Adaeus home. She was transformed, adorned in new clothes, holding a sleek new phone. She spoke of Temi, a wealthy friend, of Banana Island parties, a world far removed from their own. Chisholm listened, eating jollof rice, observing Adiza's excitement for this new, glittering world. 4th year, Adaeus stopped coming home for a mid-semester break, choosing Temi's house in Abuja instead. Mama Chisholm, ever wise, observed, "The bird we fed is looking for a bigger tree." Chisholm replied, "Let her fly, Mama." That was the point. But her voice betrayed an Then, a Facebook photograph. Adaze graduating, a cap and gown, a triumphant smile. Chisholm saw it online. Chisholm Khalid. The phone rang out. Then Adaze picked up, feigning ignorance of the number. The conversation was cold, distant. Addie's voice controlled the deliberate effort to distance herself. Chisholm's voice, filled with raw emotion, spoke of her sacrifice. 7 years carrying water, 4 days. Not for remembrance, but because Adaeus was her sister and had a gift worth nurturing. Her final words, a declaration of self-worth. "I am done waiting for something you have decided not to give." She sat on the steps, the familiar sounds of the compound surrounding her. Then, she rose. She walked inside, to Mama Chisholm. a quiet understanding passing between them. Life, in its simple truth, continued. She had the routes themselves. She knew them completely. Every customer, every shortcut, every hour of peak demand. She had something else too, an idea she had been carrying for 3 years without giving it permission to be real. She wanted her own supply. Not selling IRC's water at 35%, her own sachet water supply business. Small at first, her own machine, eventually. Her own girls on her own routes. She had been thinking about this the way you think about something you have decided you do not deserve yet. The thing that changes when someone shows you your own value by discarding it is that you stop waiting for permission to claim it. She went to IRC the following Monday. Not to quit, to ask questions. She said, IRC? When you started, how much did you need? IRC looked at her. She said, why? Chisholm said, I am thinking. IRC studied her for a moment. The look of a woman who has assessed many people across many years. She said, sit down. Let me tell you how I started. The woman who told Adeus about the photograph was called Blessing. She had been in Adeus's department. She was from Enugu, and she knew the Mushin family the way Lagos knows everyone. Through a cousin of a cousin. Through church. The Banana Island Christmas people. The compound people of Mushan recognized immediately what Adeus had built and what she had left outside of it. 3 months after the call, Adeus came home. Not planned. She came on a Saturday morning and she sat in the parlor and she waited. Mama Chisholm called Chisholm from the bedroom. Chisholm came out. She saw Adeus was wearing normal clothes. Not the white dress, not the polished version, just a simple blouse and jeans. Her own face, she looked smaller than the Facebook photograph. She looked like herself. Chisholm sat down. Neither of them spoke for a moment. Then Adeus said, I went to Olegba yesterday. Chisholm said, why? Adeus said, I wanted to see. I wanted to stand there and see what it looked like. She looked at her hands. I stood at your spot, the one near the bridge. I stood there for an hour. Chisholm said nothing. Adeus said, there was a woman, older than you. She had a bag on her head. She was moving fast, the way you used to move. That specific walk, where your whole body is balancing the bag and your hands are free. She stopped. I used to watch you from the window when I was doing homework. When I was maybe 12, I used to watch you come back in the evening and put the bag down and roll your neck. You always rolled your neck when you put the bag down, and I used to think, she's doing this for me. I used to know that. Every day I used to know it. She looked at Chisholm. I stopped knowing it. I don't know when exactly, but I stopped. I got somewhere and the somewhere had new things in it and I filled myself up with the new things. And somewhere in that filling up she stopped. I put you down. The way you put down the bag, except you put the bag down to rest your neck. I put you down because I was ashamed. She said the word. Ashamed. The actual word. Not, we have moved on. Not, things are different now. Ashamed. I am sorry, she said. Not because I need you to forgive me, because you deserve to hear me say the actual word for what I did. Chisholm sat in the parlor of the compound in Mushin, where they had both grown up, and she looked at her sister. Adeus, at her mother's nose. She had always had their mother's nose. Chisholm had their father's jaw, the father from Kano, who stopped calling, and Adeus had Mama's nose. Chisholm had looked at that nose her whole life. She said, Ayarisi is teaching me to start my own supply. I have been saving. I have a plan. Adeus looked at her. Chisholm said, I did not tell you because it was mine. The first thing that was completely mine that was not for anyone else. C'est pauset? I am telling you now because I want you to know. Not because I need anything from you. Just because you are my sister. And this is my life, and you deserve to know what my life is. Adeus nodded. She said, I got a job. A real one. Starting next month. Entry level at a firm in Victoria Island. Chisholm said. Good. Adeus said, I want to help with the business. however I can." Chisholm looked at her for a long time. She said, "Come on Saturday mornings. Not to help. Just to come. Sit with me on the route. Say, what? Ease. Not to carry anything. Just to know." Ade said, "Okay," Chisholm said, "and bring your own pure water. The Lagos sun does not care about economics degrees." Adeus laughed, the specific laugh. The Ade's laugh. The one from Bifu Banana Island, and oil and gas fathers, and white dresses, with tissue paper inside. Chisholm heard it, and something that had been clenched in her chest since the Facebook photograph released itself quietly. Not forgiveness exactly. Not yet, but the first movement toward it. The first small loosening of something that had been held very tight. She had her own machine by the second year, a second-hand sealing machine she bought from a closing factory in Apapa with money she had saved. And Ades had contributed, and Mama Chisholm had added too, from 3 years of Akara money she had been keeping in a separate envelope. In the back of the wardrobe, the envelope had a note in Mama Chisholm's handwriting. For Chisholm, "When she is ready." Chisholm read the note and sat in the kitchen with it for a long time. Then she framed it. It hangs above the machine. Every morning when she checks the sealing temperature and the water clarity and the day's packaging count, she sees it. For Chisholm, when she is ready. She had been ready for a long time. She just needed everyone who had taken her readiness for granted to take one step back so she could see it herself. Now I want to ask you something. Chisholm never finished school. She made that choice at 16. I will carry the gift. Because I see it, and someone has to carry it. She carried it for 7 years. The gift forgot who was carrying it, and then Chisholm built her own gift, with her own hands. Named for love, registered in her own name. So here is my question. When Ades came back, when she sat in the parlor, and said the actual word, ashamed, did she deserve the Saturday mornings? Did she deserve the chance to sit on the route and know? Some of you will say, yes, Sakami bike, she said. The word, sisawed up. Some of you will say showing up 3 years late does not undo 3 years of not showing up. Some of you will say Chisholm was too generous. Some of you will say Chisholm was exactly right. That the generosity was not for Addie's sake but for her own. That keeping the door open was not weakness. It was the decision of a woman who had spent 7 years making decisions about what to carry and what to put down. And she decided that the weight of a closed door was heavier than the risk of an open one. Tell me which one you are. Drop it in the comments. And tell me, is there someone in your life who carried something heavy for you while you were busy becoming something else? When did you last tell them you know? Not assume they know you know. Tell them. Go and tell them. See you in the next story.